Welcome to NCE News Wrap, sponsored by Ground Force Shoreco, where we bring you some of the month's biggest stories in a quick 5-minute roundup. This month has seen a range of developments on major projects, but it feels right to start with the publication of the Rail Accident Investigation Branch's report into the Stonehaven derailment. The accident killed 3 people in August 2020, and construction work undertaken by Crossrail has now been identified as a key factor. An important drainage system was not installed in accordance with the original design, which meant it was unable to deal with the water flows on the morning of the derailment. On the Engineers Collective podcast, RAIB Chief Inspector Simon French explained the importance of thinking about the control of change during construction.
Now, we understand, of course, that on every construction site, change is needed. Very rarely can you build exactly as per the design. And this is a reminder of the need for process to ensure that the implications of change to construction are understood, evaluated by the designers.
Also this month, the halfway point has now been reached on the Northern Line blockade between Kennington and Moorgate. It started in mid-January to enable work on Bank's new tunnel and customer concourse, and the section of the line is on track to reopen to customers in mid-May. I asked Programme Delivery Manager Ian Smith what the main challenges have been so far.
Just the sheer scale and complexity of the project. I mean, it's a one-off bank. And innovation on this project wasn't a nice to have. We had to innovate to deliver this project.
So what were some of these innovations?
Innovations, it was in regard to the type of lining we used, the spray concrete lining. On the tie-ins, we used a full single pass lining going full thickness on a full face advance. We did a lot of fatigue studies on the project, got all the people down to 8 hours, studied the type of work we were doing and didn't do safety critical work in certain periods at night.
Another major project making progress is Crossrail, and I took part in one of the project's trial operations mass evacuation exercises between Woolwich and Canary Wharf Elizabeth Line stations. The central section of the project is still scheduled to open in the first half of 2022, and our reporter Rob Hakamian also had the chance to ride on a train between Liverpool Street and Paddington. Now taking things above ground, progress is also ongoing at Hammersmith Bridge, with the government confirming that it will release its share of funding for the stabilisation work. Baroness Veer highlighted the success of the task force, which was set up to find a solution to reopen the West London crossing.
Well, when the task force was started in September 2020, I can safely say that absolutely nothing was happening. So yes, I do believe it has been a success. What we were able to do is bring together all of the relevant parties, including the River Authority, to really talk about how we can quickly make progress. Look, this is an engineering challenge. We know that those things are never resolved quickly, but I think the task force has made great strides in actually making something happen.
The bridge itself, though, has posed challenges.
You're dealing with a bridge which is substandard. It doesn't conform to modern day assessment codes and standards, so your starting position is always a bit unknown. You're going from first principles on almost anything. So yeah, it's just a lot of work to validate and assure yourself that what you're doing is the right thing and you're mitigating your risks adequately.
This current work is addressing the critical defect elements, so going forward things don't stop here.
I mean, all of the hangars on the bridge are fatigued, particularly the shorter hangars in the middle. There's a lack of movement, articulation at the joints, which needs resolving, so bearings replacing, all of the hangars releasing and replacing. The road deck timbers are decayed and in poor condition, so the chains as well. If we want to get heavier traffic, double-decker buses, for example, there's a lot of strength that needs to be done.
And finally, Prime Minister Boris Johnson has revealed plans to deal with the energy crisis that has arisen following Russia's invasion of the Ukraine. The government's new energy security strategy sets out plans to boost nuclear energy while also investing in wind, solar and hydrogen. It could be good news for Sizewell C and Wilva nuclear power stations, but experts have cautioned that the strategy needs to be backed up by concrete plans and action. Thank you for watching NCE News Wrap. Join us again next month for another roundup. This news wrap was brought to you by New Civil Engineer in partnership with Groundforce Shoreco. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content, but for now, here's a bit more information on our sponsor.
Groundforce Shoreco are the leading supplier of shoring equipment in the UK and Ireland, delivering first-class engineering and designs, exceptional service, and the highest quality kit for over 40 years, from the smallest excavations to the largest. Groundforce Shoreco, experts in excavation safety.